Great. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to just sit up here, I'm going to tell you all a story because there's only going to be a few of us in the room. Let's just make it fun and happening. If you wish. If not, that's fine too. I don't mind. But it's a small crowd. We're going to have some fun. Hopefully, you won't get turned off by my crazy thoughts. Excellent. Thank you so much. And thank you, folks, for waiting for me, honestly. Truly appreciate it. Give me 2 minutes. I should be opening up and ready to go in like 2 seconds. I'm ready whenever you are. Excellent. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome again to Cyber Week. Yesterday, I opened up the talk saying that I have done too many hand-wavy presentations in the past. And for once, it's fun to do a technical presentation. So yesterday was all technical about ARM firmware emulation. Well, guess what? Then today, as a stroke of luck or fate, as may have it, I'm back doing a hand-wavy presentation in front of you all again. So this is a topic which is actually very close to my heart. We've been in the infosec circuit for a very long time. We're here year after year. This is my 20th year speaking. So yeah, who am I? My name is Saumil Shah. I've been doing this since 1999. This is actually my 20th year doing talks. And when it comes to security, we've time and again, we have taken the position as preachers. We've tried to send messages to the world which are not really practical to follow. We've been preaching security like it's a holy thing. But how does the common person adopt the principles of security, not disrupting their daily life? If I ask you to uninstall all the privacy invasion features on your phone, you probably have to uninstall 20 apps. I can say this, but would you really want to do this? Or would you actually end up doing this? And the answer is no. Which means that if I were to say that, okay, if you don't delete all the apps on your phone, you cannot have a reasonable expectation of privacy, then neither I win nor you. It never improves you. It never improves me. So now it's time to change this thing. It's time to change the way we think about it. And this talk is titled Building the Road to Defendable Systems. We've come for so many years trying to defend systems which are not defensible. And I realized this 2 years ago when I did a keynote along with my friend Halvar Flake in Black Hat Asia in Singapore. These were the two most depressing keynotes that I've ever done or seen. And the message that both Halvar and I walked away with was that, hey, we've talked about this, but there's no way really to solve the problem. And the moment you say there's no way to solve a problem, a part of your brain starts thinking, well, nobody takes no for an answer. There's got to be a solution. It's just that we haven't found the right one. So let's clear the slate. Let's abandon all ways of thinking and try to think of new ways. But two statements from these two keynotes found a place in my heart. Statement number one was Halvar's statement that attacks are a technical problem. Defense is a political problem. In simple terms, what this means is we are bringing the wrong army to the battle for security. We're trying to improve security by technical solutions, but the problem is a political one. If we do not address the political issue, we cannot expect any reasonable gains in info security. So this is statement number one, which was kind of like, okay, we definitely need to act upon this. And so it forced me to take a look at how we are doing defense in all these years. 2001 to 19, the way we're doing defense is basically simple. We're telling no to everything. We're taking a very reactive approach. And our idea is if we block the bad guys, we will be secure again. And with this philosophy, we invented so many technologies over the years, which says keep the bad guys out, 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 keep the bad guys out. And well, what happened? Attackers always find a way of bypassing whatever you've said no to and still get things done. And this is why we're here year after year. And this led me to conclude that, you know what, existing defense measures do not match attacker tactics. We're kind of failed in that aspect. Look at the new bugs, right? We heard of Rowhammer, Spectre, and Meltdown. They've been here since 2015. These are bugs that I have no bloody idea how they work. I only have a conceptual overview. I admit I'm a software man. I've got no insight into hardware. And these are bugs that operate at a memory level, at a chip level. And the way to attacking these, to me, seems like magic. Have they really been fixed? We'll never know. Yes, there have been some measures against it, but we don't know if these don't exist at all. We're still continuing to live with this. How can we live with this? Well, we have no choice here. Or, for example, if you take an attack delivery mechanism like Stegosploit, it's an exploit delivery with style. It's a process that I wrote to enable any exploit to be encoded as pixels in a photograph and sent as a photograph. Again, conventional measures have not found a way to detect or even block stegographically encoded images. This is still open. The takeaway from this is if we try and keep fighting everything like this, we'll never win. So let's learn and accept and embrace one fact. It's a bitter fact, but please bear in mind that there will be vulnerabilities. It's a way of life. And the real reason why there will be vulnerabilities is because of a beautiful concept I read in actually an architecture blog, not an IT blog. Somebody had written an article called Nakatomi Space. If you watch Die Hard, Bruce Willis goes up and down the Nakatomi Tower without using a staircase, without using an elevator, the way it was intended to be used. He'll go up and down a shaft, up and down a window, up and down a pipe, across the ventilation, not using conventional means. And using this, he was able to traverse up and down at will. Today, if you look at it, your software, networks, IT systems, they all have Nakatomi space. The more complex they are, the more Nakatomi space there is. Yes, there will be gaps. Yes, there will be Bruce Willises who will keep on going through it. The idea is don't fight Bruce Willis. Be aware that this is going to happen and look for it. Don't close the air ducts down. People in the building will suffocate and die. But keep an eye open, keep a thought open that this thing can happen. And this brought me to the second takeaway from those two keynotes is I turned around and asked the audience, dear CISO, who is scarier? Who do you fear the most? Attackers or auditors? Tell me the real reason why you want a penetration test, and I'll tell you what you need. You need a scanner report? Hey, it's free. Take it. It's not going to help you. Or you want real security? Then let's talk. First, find out your audience, then do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, attackers don't follow compliance standards and certifications. They operate beyond that. So now we are at a situation where we need to defend the systems without really disrupting the users, without disrupting our way of life. I can't tell you to change everything. But what I can tell you, as a security practitioner, that it's actually time to think about who owns defense. You're working in a major bank. You're working in a major government department. You've commissioned IT systems to be built. You've commissioned mobile banking, fingerprint banking, WhatsApp banking. You've gone and done that. No questions about it. Fine, go ahead. Are you willing to defend it? Or are you going to tell, hey, I've bought this new system. You CISO guys, IT security department, you defend it and keep it safe. If we do not have a shared vision of cybersecurity, what's going to happen is this Tom and Jerry cartoon, you keep on passing the bomb to one another. Whenever I've had to make a point to CISOs, I've always had to tell fairy tales. Now I resort to cartoons because stories make a very good point. Right? And we all laugh at stories, but at some point you think this just got real. If cybersecurity is not a shared vision, if it's like I buy it, you defend it, then we have a problem. Then what's going to happen? You're going to end up in an endless loop of pushback and compliance. Each one's going to blame the other. the bomb is going to keep getting passed until at a point when it explodes, both the organizations are going to go down. It doesn't affect just one. The blame happens to the entire business. So people have asked me, okay, so how do you think I'm going to secure this? How do you think, what's the most secure platform? And I've realized that there's only one answer. And the answer is called Schrodinger's hack. Your computer system is hacked and secure at the same time. My iPhone is over there, sorry. Is it hacked? Not right now. Maybe in 10 minutes after the pwn to own thing, it may be hacked. It's exactly as it is. When you open the box is when you find out what the cat is, hacked or not. So forget thinking about it. Treat it as if it were hacked, as if it were secure. Let's keep moving on, right? If we are in a game to defend cybersecurity, again, more cartoons, this time from video games coming up, we need to understand the asymmetry of cybersecurity. The defense is now divided into two camps. And this is actually increasingly widening. There is a camp of haves and there is a camp of have-nots. This is not in terms of money or resources. This is cybersecurity poverty is measured in terms of capabilities. There are those who have capabilities and they will continue to have more capabilities. And those who do not have capabilities are struggling to achieve capabilities. What capabilities are we talking about? The capability of doing custom research to defend your own systems. The capability of custom analytics, threat detection, response, knowing your systems and being able to defend them from within. The other camp has nothing of the sort. The other camp basically is dependent only upon commercial solutions to defend their system and external entities. And this happens not because of salaries, not because of cool places to work or free coffee. This happens because of a mindset. The mindset whether we own cybersecurity readily and want to do something about it, or the mindset that cybersecurity is an evil and it has to be pushed away, throw money at it and make it go away. If you have the necessary evil mindset, keep in mind you will never have capabilities to defend your systems. And you always say that, oh, I can't find the good talent because all the big ones have sucked away all the talent. Well, guess what? The problem isn't the big ones sucking away the talent. The problem is you sucking at your own thought process. Okay. Now, once we know this, what's the path, the first step to building defendable systems? And there are four pillars, four elements of the security molecule, as I call it. And in no order of priority or magnitude, these four elements are transparency, metrics, resilience, and last but not least, the most ignored component, your users. I'm going to talk about users, but I want to first of all make a statement that we as infosecurity professionals have treated users very badly in the past 20 years. I think it's time we all apologize to all our users and say we're sorry for treating you really shitty. We have to do something about it. I will come back to this point in just a little bit. Let me talk about each of these points in a little bit of detail. Give me a second. I need a sip of water. Sorry about that. Throat. I will elaborate on the defense being a political matter. Thank you much. It means none of the two. Okay. We talk about transparency over here. How do we incorporate transparency into a process? You've seen it actually. You've seen transparency at work with others that you do business with. We've just not recognized it. Quick show of hands. How many of you have a data center or you're hosting something with the cloud agency, or you're dependent upon Twitter or other external services. All of you, yeah? Have you ever wondered, hey, is this down for me? Like something's failed. Is it down for me or down for everyone? What would you do? Like you do ping this, you go to isitdownforme.com. But then there are some places, and a lot of providers have started doing this. This is a screenshot from my host provider, DreamHost. They have a status page. Anything not working? Go to status.dreamhost.com. It'll tell you what's working and what is not working. They are not ashamed to tell you that this is not working. If you follow their Twitter account, they will in fact tell you that, the technical team is working with this particular VPS. The experience is lowered. We're very sorry that it's taking a longer time to fix. It'll be back up again. Guess what you've done? You've admitted failure, but you've made all your users very happy. In fact, you've made all your users trust you even more. Like, okay, these guys are honest. That's okay. We'll give them the time to fix it. We're not going to complain. Let them fix it. They'll be happy. They won't even come complaining for credit to you. If you open it up, you'll earn the user's trust. This is an example of transparency. Another example of transparency. How many of you are familiar with bank statements? You better be, right? If not, then there's something fundamentally wrong. Okay, but think about this. You receive a bank statement every month. What's the purpose of the bank statement? What does it do for you? What do you gain out of a bank statement? Transparency, sure. What does the bank statement help you? Like, if I am the bank, I stopped giving a bank statement, would you complain? Any business person here, what's a bank statement going to do for you? Maybe something to give you to file away. No, this actually does a lot of things. Number one, you get to see the account activity. Because you may forget what you did, but a bank statement captures it. It gives you a list of the spending record, like where am I spending? What are my maximum expenses? What's like really, if I want to optimize, what should I be focusing upon? It also allows me to reconcile the statements for my audit purposes, for my tax purposes. And last but not least, it tells me if anything is unusual or unauthorized. I didn't spend this money. I didn't fly to Abu Dhabi. I didn't take a big dinner. Who did? No, I really did fly to Abu Dhabi and did take a big dinner. But it tells me what the unauthorized expenses are. So, can we not, said my friend Thomas Dulin, can we not think of a bank statement for applications and software activity? And he conceptualized this during one of his blog posts, where your operating system, your mobile OS or your app governance system keeps a track of all activity made by your applications, and a user must be alerted to what has happened with their private data. Something like this. This is a app activity statement saying Google sucked my contact book 20 times, Facebook asked me for permissions to read my photographs 80 times, geolocation was turned on, this happened, that happened at this point by this app. The moment the system starts telling the user starts trusting the system, and the user starts demanding better measures from the other owners that their data is with. This improves the overall posture of security by transparency. Third thing, if you look at response, turnaround time, classic example is Driven to Pwn or Ponium. This started in Kuala Lumpur at Hack in the Box 2012. Google came with $2 million to pay out $60,000 for a Chrome bug that got submitted. Pinkie Pie submitted the Chrome bug on day one. They had monitors all over the conference with the running total in real time as the bug was submitted and the money was paid out. They verified the bug, paid the money, put it on the screen saying, one bug successful, so many dollars given away, so many dollars remaining. What they did after that is beautifully interesting. You read Chris Evans' blog post and his slides and his talk titled The Elements of Pwn, Element 1337. It's a beautiful story. And it's a story of two mindsets, actually. If you really want to improve the quality of your software and improve turnaround time, you need to think about the two thought processes that go into software. There are the makers who build, and there are the breakers who destroy. No judgment here, but these are two different mindsets. I am an attacker. I can never build anything. I've never built anything in my life. I've only broken stuff down. But I can break things beautifully. What is happening is because of the culture that is somehow come to pass, makers and breakers don't talk to each other. In fact, they end up upon hating each other. And when I say that I broke something, I always say that the developer sucks because they make stupid mistakes. The developer says that these guys are jerks. They are making our life miserable. There is the problem. We have to turn this culture around. We have to make each other believe that I do not exist without a developer building software, and a developer needs me to make sure that the software is secure. It has to be harmonious, not competitive. And this is what Google did inside. They enabled a transparency between maker processes and breaker processes. Their maker process was so mature that they were able to take the bug, figure it out what was wrong, fix it in the developer build, test it across their systems, create a build out of it, publish the build, and have all the Chromium engines updated in 12 hours from the bug report. The night that the bug was reported, next day, all Chrome engines, all Chrome browsers in the world got auto updates and the bug was fixed in 12 hours. This is my Rolls-Royce example of maturity. They were transparent about it. They took action. They had a process. They fixed it. This is the beauty to learn from, the engineering behind the maturity process. This is what makes for better security, not the fact that Google has smart people. The fact that they have smart processes is what makes them win this game. And lastly, I want to talk about users. You've heard of this famous acronym PEBCAC, anyone? Cooper. Problem exists between keyboard and chair. And this is some of the issues that we've dealt with. And the issue is very clearly summarized by one of Grug's tweets, is that today you have a race for the latest 0 day. You can see the driven to pwn thing going on. People are getting 0 days. They're very effective, but a simple phishing email with a link to download is as effective as a brand new 0 day. Why? The 0 day is attacking technology, the phishing attack is attacking the user. And Sebastian Porst responded saying that user hardening efforts have barely made any progress compared to software hardening processes. We as an industry have not focused on the users. In fact, we have made bold statements saying that, hey, if you give the user a choice about security, they're going to pick dancing pigs over security anytime. We have made fun of people saying give them technology and they'll do something stupid, like tweeting out photographs of debit cards and their CVV number just because they can. Yes, the thing is these people exist, no doubt about them. But we as an industry have taken this and extrapolated the fact that all users behave this way. The truth is, one size fits none. What you're seeing is a very small slice of users. There's a large portion of users which are not this way. And I did a survey at one of my customers trying to map the maturity of users, and this is the curve that comes out. A large number of users are not very mature in terms of cybersecurity safety. But then there are those who are. If you really want to improve the posture of your users, divide this curve into 4 parts, like I've done. There are the hopeless users. There are the uninformed users, the proactive users, and the rock stars. What do you do about these? Hopeless are going to remain hopeless. Don't worry about them. Cut them loose. They'll take care of themselves or not. Rock stars. Again, don't do anything about them either because they're doing way better than you expected. Don't mess with them. Don't force them to do shitty things like change their password every 1 month. They're doing a way better job than you expected. Leave them alone. Better yet, learn from what they're doing and then take it and apply it to the more proactive users who are really doing very well. They're using the system as intended, but then you want to make them the new rock stars. Your key focus group is the uninformed users. These are users who have the right intentions at heart. These are good people. They do not have the knowledge of what to do to secure themselves. We have sent very many confusing messages which the user is getting bombarded with, which has become like infosec fatigue. And people are saying, you know what, forget it. I just want to get my job done. Expired SSL certificate, I'm going to click through it because I really need to make that payment and I need to catch my plane. This is what the average user is. You cannot blame them. Instead, what you really want to do is focus upon them and change their habits one habit at a time. First, get them to update a browser. Once they do that, get them to choose a better password. Once they do that, get them to enable some two-factor app. Then if they do that, keep progressing them up the curve. And pretty soon, if you just work on the uninformed users, which is 1/4 of the target audience, your curve is going to change like this. Once you have such an effect, users are the best defenders to your systems. A user may report a bug faster than your QA team can. Pay attention to them, reward them, give them a prize for it, enable this, encourage this. One of my customers, they are encouraging their users to report a phishing attack. If they see a phishing attack, and if they are the first to detect the phishing attack, they get paid $500 in a gift card for reporting a brand new phishing attack. This allows them to defend better against the entire population. A very simple exercise, but very effective exercise. And we're talking about passwords, right? Let me take an example of what we've done with passwords with users. It's actually time we make security great again. Consider this statement as a password, make security great again. How many of you say that this is a secure password? All uppercase. Cooper doesn't count. Okay. What happened to the rule? Where is lowercase? Where is mixed characters? Where is numbers? Where is symbols? This clearly does not follow common password composition guidelines. So if you take two passwords, right? There's password number 1 on the top, password number 2, like make security great again at the bottom. There's an XKCD comic. Guess which one is harder to crack? The lower one. The number of bits of entropy in that all lowercase password is greater than the number of bits of entropy in that weird composed character password. We have forced users to remember the top part. We've made life really difficult, whereas we've kind of done this. We've trained everyone to use passwords that are hard for humans to remember, but easy for computers to crack. This is what we've achieved, complete counterproductivity without applying thought, simply because some auditor tells us to keep changing passwords and keep having these complex passwords as a knee-jerk reaction to something that happened 15 years ago, once upon a bloody time, when there was nothing greater than 8-character passwords allowed. Oh, that rolled off my tongue straight up. Okay, it's time we start changing these things. You want to know what's a great authentication system today? Quick show of hands. How many of you use WhatsApp? I do. Does WhatsApp ever require a password? Think about it. Did you have to sign up for an email with it? Nope. You click your phone number, download WhatsApp, get a code, it's on. Have you used WhatsApp Web or WhatsApp Desktop? How do you log into WhatsApp Desktop? Like this. It gives you a QR code, you put your phone camera in front of it, click, login, done. This is challenge response authentication without using passwords with a device that you possess, it has not been breached yet. This thing works. When you're logged in, WhatsApp also gives you a notification in the control center. Where are you logged in from? If you think this is not a good thing, you can disconnect that remote session from your phone straight away. Put the user in control of the security. This is the big message. We want to make the change from not trusting the user at all to empowering the user to take charge of their own security, observe that user, and make security better for the entire organization. Classic examples, let me tell you. One of my banking customers in India, this is a suggestion that we made to our customer. Say, hey, you talk about these ATM skimmers and all that. You can go hunting for ATM skimmers all you want. But why don't you put the control in the hands of the user? If I have an ATM card, it is in a permanently disabled state. If I want to use it, I send an SMS, unblock my card, the card gets unblocked, I use it, the card gets either automatically blocked after some time, or you can send an SMS to block it back again. In the block state, the card is disabled. Put the user in charge of the security. Tell them that if you will enable this feature, we will unlock more bonuses for you. Like a Super Mario game, you unlock one door, a new world opens up, and then let them do more things. Take them down that path. Put them in control, give them higher credit limits for enabling security features, and they will want to play that way. Incentivize them towards security. Another example, like Telegram, tells you which other devices you're logged in from, takes a fingerprint of the OS, that, oh, I'm also logged in from an iPhone, I'm also logged in from a MacBook, and if I want to disconnect any of them, I can. Gmail, if you go down to the bottom and click on the link wherever you logged in from, it tells you all the last n number of login activities, what was the country, what was the time, what was the device you are using, are they still logged in, and it allows you to log them out. You can actually trace and take charge of your own activity this way. So basically what I want to kind of start concluding the thoughts with is we are two people, two entities in the same organization, drawing swords with one another. Those who own the business application and those who are tasked to defend it. The culture is one of resist. We can resist one another. You hit the shadow, the prince's life is also lost. You kill the shadow, you die. This is Prince of Persia. 30 years ago was its birth anniversary. 30 years and 2 weeks ago is when Prince of Persia came. Beautiful game. I loved it. I wasted 2 semesters playing Prince. Best thing I ever done in my education life. You can resist all you want. You can pass the parcel, keep throwing the bomb. You can keep trying rules, signatures, updates. You can keep bringing technical problems to win an infosec political battle. You want to keep spending money in questionable products, and you want to encumber your users. You can keep doing this. We've been doing this all along. Or you really want to make a change. The first and fundamental change to make is not go from resist, you want to go to resonate. Put the swords down, take ownership of cybersecurity, build defendable systems with transparency, resonance, resilience, metrics, and focus on the users. Make security and trustworthiness as a core feature that you're selling, not as an add-on, and empower your users. And to do all this, the truth is, you don't need anything extra. What you just need is exactly yourselves. Change the mindset. Approach the problem politically. This is the political solution I'm talking about, is go from resist to resonate. InfoSec team, walk half the bridge. Ask the business owners to meet in the middle. It'll take a lot of egos to be put aside to say, all right, I'm going to meet you in the middle and we're going to do this together. And that is the political problem, and problem of organizational politics, defeating of egos, and taking joint ownership of cybersecurity to basically improve your lot in life. 1 minute, 18 seconds to go. Thank you very much for your time and attention. We have questions. I'd be happy to answer them on Slido or live, as you wish.
Thank you so much, Saumil.
Thank you. Go for it.
Thank you once again for the last minute talk. Do we have any questions from the audience?
Go for it.
Hi.
Hi.
So when you said that we need to, it's a political problem, the infosecurity thing.
Yeah.
You meant that we need to deal with the attackers, or let's say some of the good hackers. Are the good hackers that are trying to help us?
No,
like launching the bug bounty programs and so on? Or you meant other things, like the things in between the...
I meant, so the first part is, they're only hackers. There's no good hackers, there's no bad hackers. There's just hackers who hack, right? But anyway, forget that path. What I really meant was, the political problem is one of alignment. If I go back 2 slides, if I may have the view on, if you please. Sorry, just a sec. Yeah, this is the political problem. Instead of fighting the organization from within, like, you guys build and you guys defend, the maker and breaker clash, you have to change the thought process and make them work together. The political problem happens because of ego and because of nobody wants to take charge of a dirty problem. Cybersecurity, you want to push it away. The political problem is one of taking ownership and committing to work together across different organizations in the company. That is the mindset. It can only be empowered by the board members, mind you. If the board is not going to buy into it, good luck.
Does that happen in some mature organizations?
It's definitely happening in a few mature organizations. There are 4 of them who I've actually worked with in my career, and the outcomes that they've produced are beyond wonderful.
All right. Thank you.
Right.
Do we have any other questions from the audience? I actually do have one
Go
question.
for it.
I really like that maturity graph you showed.
Yeah.
But how do you identify the users?
Oh, that's easy.
See, I mean, it's easy for a small organization, but once it goes to 100,000 plus above.
No, in fact, the data is better when you have 100,000 plus users. Look for simple things, right? Look for just browser versions, number 1. How many of you have updated the latest browser? Number 2, fingerprint their system, find out what OS they're using. Number 3, run a password cracker. See how many passwords get cracked within 15 minutes using a GPU. Do 4 or 5 things, you'll come to know the maturity. Send them a fake phishing email. See how many clicked. You always can measure. And once you see a person over a time saying, hey, every month this person is changing their browser, it's getting updated, hey, place them in a more proactive zone. Place them in a rockstar zone. Yeah. You ran a password cracker for 10 days, none of the passwords got cracked. These are the rockstars who have kind of done it right. Okay, I think you have to figure out innovative ways, but surely can.
Thank you so much. If there are no more questions, let's give Saumil another round of applause.
Thank you very much.